Hey there, boys and girls. Your old buddy Don here with your daily dose of adventures of the broken retired. Is it up there? I try to remember to put it up there, but every time I look up, I can't see anything. Well, let's hope it's there. Anyway, today we got the toolbox done yesterday, as I'm sure you may have, I hope you saw in the video. I got the toolbox done. Still missing a drawer, but there's not much I can do about that yet. I got to find one. So today is going to be all that has to be that from that last chance sign down to the workbench with the fan and sit down, all that's got to be put away, removed, moved, shoved somewhere else, temporarily stored, whatever you want to say. It has to be so that the toolboxes that I have, there's 12 of them all together, by the way. So the toolboxes that I have can be put to use, stacked up against the wall here, and all the stuff that I need put away can be put away so that I can start doing some other conversions in the garage. So that's what we're going to work on today. Amy has a book club ladies coming over today. I'm not sure how that's going to affect what I do out here. She said shouldn't affect it at all. I appreciate her working with me. We'll see what happens because I don't know. And we'll go from there. And hopefully everybody has a good day, a safe day, a lucky day, a wonderful day. That's really what's important. That everybody has a wonderful day. So what I'm going to try to do is find a place I can put the camera where it's just not doing nothing but taking a picture of my butt in while I'm standing at the workbench trying to put all that stuff away. So let me start with that. Sit tight. Well, I'm guessing that's about the best I'm going to get because there's a door right here that has to be able to open and close. This has got to be out of the way far enough not to get knocked over. The camera has to be out of the way far enough not to get knocked over. I don't want it directly behind me so that you're not staring at that all day. So I guess we'll just go from there and see how it goes. Well, good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to a day of Don in the garage, moving things around and changing things up, getting ready to. I'm making a change from doing a bunch of woodworking out there to getting back into gas, oil, and grease. I've excuse me. No, yawn there. I've been a gas, oil, and grease guy my whole life. I was happy. Had never worked with wood until look at the dust on those boards. Had never worked with wood a lot until I started doing it in the garage there. Had a lot of fun doing it. Made some money doing it. Made some nice things, to be honest with you. I hope nobody minds me saying that. But I did make some nice things. I made a ton of birdhouses that birds would actually move into, and people didn't want to buy one because they said, "Oh, birds never move into my birdhouses." I said, "Get one of these," and I bet you they do. And everybody came back and said they did. They loved them. This is a piston out of a 1982, I think it's stuck. The ring is stuck. Out of a 81 or 82 430 Husky that I had. I love that motorcycle. And no matter what gear you were in or what throttle position you were at, it always had plenty of power. I loved that motorcycle. It also had cable operated drum brakes front and rear that sucked. That Husky was one of my all-time favorite motorcycles. Boy, you want to talk about something that had power all the time. Man, that thing was just incredible. My plan here, by the way, what I'm doing is I'm going to take that light down and I'm going to just move that shelf. I know the shelf is big and ugly. Just move the shelf straight up so that I still have something to hang the lie down without having to make a new shelf. I ended up having to modify it. It's still ugly, but it holds the thing up. This is a prized possession. My father gave this to me. I thought it was a toolbox. It's not. It's a first aid. It's a first aid kit number, whatever it is. Look where it's from. New York City system, or New York Central system, I would assume. This is cool. If you're a collector of things like this, and you would like this box to go in your collection, let me know, because I would like to see this go to a collector. And I very honestly would like very much to see that box and the next one I'm going to show go to collectors, because they need to. They don't need to be hiding out in my garage. In friction tape, it used to say PW on the front. There's no stamping as to where it came from. No idea. If you recognize it, let me know. It had a leather handle, but I just touched it and the end broke off. This end was already broken, evidently. And I touched it and that end broke off. The second one isn't as good as the first. The first one's really cool. I'm hoping someone recognizes the second one and can tell me what it is. When I was busy out here making stuff out of wood, I bought this. See how flimsy that is? I would build stuff that had no steel hardware. It was all held together with pegs. And this saw right here, you could put it on the surface like this and move it back and forth. It would cut the dowel rods off. Cut them off flush. It was cool. Well worth it. I built a lot of stuff when I had the wood shop out there. I was always working either in the garage or working with my company, and a lot of times I was stuck home in the office. I'd go out in the garage and work and just go check the office, you know. But building things with no metal hardware, building things with just wooden pegs holding it together, I thought was just super cool. And that flexible saw worked so good. It's very sharp, and it worked so good to cut off dowel pins and wedges and stuff like that, to cut all that stuff off dead even. A lot less sanding work. There's a big old cut on the back side of my right forearm. I have no idea how I got that. I just started noticing that I was depositing blood everywhere, and looked, and there it was. Show you something. Dowel. Spam call. Didn't turn off the phone that time. What I would do is I would take these, like this right here, this aluminum one, and this brass one right here. I would cut those, I'd drill holes in the furniture, then cut little pieces of this and tap them in there and glue them in, then polish the tops off. They'd have little brass and bright aluminum accents in them. Thought it was cool. Those accents did look pretty good. I thought that was a good idea to put them in there. You know, you put them in there before you sand the wood, and then during all the sanding process, they get polished up real good and get real bright. And it was cheap, you know, that those pieces, those rods were not that much. And every time you use one, you use just a little piece, you know. So they lasted. Well, they lasted for longer than what me building the wood did, because I still have them. That bench is covered with all kind of stuff. A workbench kind of becomes a catch-all without me. Here's the hood ornament. That hood ornament weighs about 20 pounds. I swear you can't put that on a hood. Those were branding irons that I just showed. But anyway, the bench becomes a catch-all. And everything just gets piled out there and left there. Nothing ever gets put away like it should. That's just how I am and how most mechanics are, to be honest with you. I think pretty much every mechanic I've ever known always has a workbench covered with tools. I didn't have a whole lot of tools out. I had stuff, but a lot of it wasn't tools because a lot of it I didn't use a lot of tools. Because during the woodworking, it was a lot of other things that got used. Machines got used. The stereo system. See, there's only one speaker left up there. But when I build stuff, let me tell you something. When I build stuff, I build it to stay. And when I built all this stuff, I had no intention of ever taking it down. So the stereo system and the speakers were all screwed to the shelves so that they wouldn't go anywhere. And all this stuff is built. All this stuff is built to hold a tank. There's two reasons that I built it. One is because it's built to hold a tank, and the other is because it can be taken apart and fixed. See this? This ashtray was given to me by the guy who made it. He gave it to me when I was 16. I'm 67. I'm proud of still having that ashtray in my life. I was 16 years old when I got that. I still lived at home at my parents' house. In fact, I lived at home at my parents' house for almost 2 more years after that. And that ashtray has been all over the place with me everywhere I've lived. Every time I've moved, I've carried it with me. Wherever I've gone. That's a long time to have something. I've had it for 51 years. I've I was a high school kid. Which is sad to say that I was smoking being a high school kid, but I was. Everybody was smoking back then. Everybody smoked. And you smoked everywhere you went. You smoked in the grocery store, you smoked in the bank, you smoked, didn't matter. Now, this bench has got to come down before I can take the shelf down, because the bench is in the way to get to the shelf. And evidently, I built this bench in place because it is not disassembly. I mean, it's disassembly friendly in the idea that it's all put together with screws, but it's really hard to get it's difficult to get off the wall. Now, those bins that I'm taking down, you see those 2 things I just took down, those plastic things, those were for when I had the company, and my guys would come and go from the garage, pick it up and drop it off. They're work orders. Since I retired, I'm a new me. I think that's pretty well said. Since I'm retired, I'm a new me. I am. And in some ways, I'm not. I've always been a gas, oil, and grease guy. The last few years... Oh, yawn again. Excuse me. The last few years, I've been out of the gas, oil, and grease because I was working on people's houses and doing woodworking in the shop. And boy, I tell you what, the last thing you want around when you're working with wood is anything that's gas, oil, and grease, because the gas, oil, or grease soaks into the wood. The wood is useless. You can't use it. So it all went away for me. But I guess in my retirement, I'm moving away from what I had to do to make a living to what I want to do. And this is, I tell you what, I have no idea how long this is going to last, because at some point in time, God's going to pull the plug on me. But I'll tell you, I really have been having a lot of fun, and I'm out here working myself so stupid with this out in the garage stuff, sweating and working, and my body hurts and I'm tired, and I'm loving every minute of it. I am a workaholic. I have to be making progress all the time. That's why, if you look how many, I started out this channel, I think it was July 20th or July 21st of last year. It hasn't even been a year yet, and I've got over 340 videos. That's almost a video a day. In fact, it might be over a video a day, which is a lot. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of time devoted to it. And I've been having a lot of fun doing this. Now, the reason that I stuck my arm in the camera like that wasn't to show everybody I had a cut. It was because I remembered that it was there, and I was using the phone for a mirror to look at it, to see what was going on, because I couldn't twist my arm far enough around to see it. Ugh. Yawning again, man. I'll bet you I've got y'all yawning too. Now I'm gonna take this shelf down and cut it. See how I pivoted that? You know, I've worked by myself a lot, and when you work by yourself with heavy stuff, you have to figure out ways to be able to do it. And I thought that was pretty smart on my part. Leave one screw in and then just let the whole thing pivot on that one screw. So I wasn't trying to take the screw out and tackle all the weight, take other screws out and tackle all the weight at the same time. I could put it in a position where it was hanging down and easier to handle, and then take that last screw out. And then I got the reciprocal saw and just trimmed off the extra part of the shelf I didn't need, so that I didn't have to build a new shelf, because I really didn't feel like building a new shelf. And I was just going to put the light back up anyhow. Now, as it turns out, I couldn't put the same light back up because I had to have an on and off switch on the light. And that light didn't have an on and off switch. The light that was up there didn't have an on and off switch. I had a power strip sitting up on top of the bench, and I would just turn the strip on and off, and the fan and the light were both plugged into the power strip. So it would turn them on and off that way. Now, I had another light that was hooked onto the bottom of the wood rack where the planer used to be. Of course, the planer is not there anymore. So I took that light fixture and put it up over here. And something funny happened, because you're going to notice after the shelf goes up, the light just all of a sudden appears to be in place. And I didn't edit it to look like that. As far as I know, the camera was running the whole time. And I don't know what to tell you. The only thing I can figure is maybe a spam call came in and screwed up the camera's recording ability. Now, see, to put that shelf up, I did the same thing. I put one screw in it and let it hang, and then just pivoted it, so I wouldn't have to try to hold the shelf level and have all that weight to deal with. Just hold it level and put it up there. I'm not sure what happened to the recording right here, but the light fixture is suddenly up, so I don't know whether a spam call made the phone act funnier or exactly what happened, but it's up. And that's what I was talking about a minute ago, that light being up. I forgot I already had audio put in there on that. I extended the cord, the electrical cord, using a piece of an extension cord, because I got a bunch of extension cords all of a sudden. So I extended the cord so it would reach the light, and then this light has an on and off switch, so you just saw me checking it to make sure it worked. I had to make the on and off switch tail longer. Hey. I'm done soon.
Unswept the wall too.
Yeah. I'm going to take the toolboxes and put them over here. And I'm done for the day. I'm tired. My back hurts. This is my second shirt. I think it looks pretty good.
It was real good. Real good.
Yeah. And the shelf, I just cut it up and put it back up there. It had to be raised up, so modified it, stuck it back up there. The light is not centered.
It's okay.
Man, you heard me tell Amy there that a little bit more and I'd be done for the day. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was beat. I mean, you can look at me and see I was beat. I was tired. It was really hot out there, and there's a lot of, up and down the ladder and stuff like that. I don't do very well anymore, moving stuff around, a lot of lifting and moving. And anyway, we're getting towards the end. Watch. There we go. I got to do something with all this stuff, and I got to pull out in between, in there where that wood is leaning up against the wall. I need to pull all that stuff out of there take this toolbox, shove it with a crowbar into the corner as far as it'll go. Do the same thing with this one, shove it up against that one as far as it'll go. Take this one, pull it forward a little bit because of that, and crowbar that one up against that one as far as it'll go. Shove this one over tight to that one. Now has just enough space right there to put that one. And that will catch me up. So, but I ain't doing it today. That's too much muscle work. I'm done. There we are. That was pretty much the goal for the day, to get those boxes over there. All of them over there was the goal. I don't know if all of them are going to fit, but that big box in the corner, I'm going to have to crowbar that from the floor to get it to move sideways. That box is way over full and it's super heavy. So I'll just shove it in the corner as far as I should be able to get over just enough I'm hoping just enough to get that box in. So let's hope for the best without messing up the screen door too, because the screen door opens towards the boxes. So let's hope for the best. Thank you very much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Hope you've enjoyed the time we spent in the garage today. I didn't talk much because I didn't have a lot to say. I had a lot on my mind with getting things done. Had a lot to do. I feel like I got a lot done. Feel pretty good about it, to be honest with you. I'm not bleeding anymore. That's good. Y'all have a good afternoon. Thank you so much.